Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. Today we are going to add on few other features as well, which is add on information for your current affairs preparation. So we are going to take an important topic from the Hindu newspaper and we are going to do the deep analysis over it. Next, a few points or topics that we can concentrate on the Press Information Bureau for the further information as well and All India Radio. And from today, we are going to learn at least three words in a day to enhance your vocabulary skills as well. Let's start from the Hindu analysis. The first article which is there in the newspaper today, fresh violence puts Manipur on edge. We know very well what exactly happening in the state of Manipur. It is a ethnic clash between the two group. Exactly, we know it because already multiple times this particular article came in the newspaper. We know exact information regarding the same. But recently, what happened is the fresh violence puts Manipur on edge because in 12 hours, ex-MLA behind the conspiracy, which was said by the chief minister, and that particular ex-MLA also got arrested. This particular incident triggered because of two other armed with single barrel guns after the roadside vendors, mostly women, to vacate the new Chakon area of Impal. So this is the reason behind that particular violence puts Manipur on edge yesterday. And the next article it is about do not rush to swap 2000 rupees notes. So the Reserve Bank of India Governor Shashikant Das, he exactly told that don't rush to the banks to swap your 2000 rupees notes. The decision on May 19, 2023 to withdraw all 2000 rupees notes from the circulation. It is like announcement is taken seriously by the people and also instruction given by Shaktikanta Das that don't rush to the banks. So he come up with the prolonged time period that do you have. Yes, September 30th is the last day to exchange the money. So don't rush yourself to the banks to swap the 2000 rupees notes. Right. And next important article that we are going to discuss in D. Prime Minister's extols value of Pacific Island nations at third FIPIC summit. Small island nations of the Pacific Ocean, or in fact large ocean states, which was the statement given by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi while attending this FIPIC. What is this FIPIC summit? What exactly the background that we need to understand? So, the FIPIC summit, which happened in Papua New Guinea. So, why we need to give attention here is the third forum for Indo-Pacific Island Cooperation, which is known as FIPIC Summit, which was held at Port Moresby. Remember the port name called Port Moresby was jointly hosted Papua New Guinea. So, Prime Minister of India co-chaired the summit with the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. The discussion is completely focusing on the areas such as commerce, technology, healthcare, and climate change. These are all the areas to be focused in this particular summit. So we need to know the add-on information regarding this FIPIC summit. What is this FIPIC summit? Is a multinational grouping for cooperation between India and around 14 Pacific Island nations. Remember, Pacific Island nations, the number 14 that India is getting cooperate with each other. So, Cook Island, Fiji, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Nauru, Niue, Samoa, Solomon Island, Palau, Papua New Guinea, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. So the names are not important, but you need to know about where exactly it happened, like Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. Right. So the initiative makes a serious efforts to expand the India's engagement. expand the India's engagement in which region? Pacific region. That is the major intention of this particular summit. A major part of India's engagement with these countries is through development assistance was conceptualized. Remember, it is about capacity building in terms of providing training, scholarships, granting support in terms of getting loans, and also community development projects in the region. Right. So these are all the major areas to be focused and also observed in the FIPIC summit. These are all the information that you need to observe based on this particular article. Moving towards the next article of the day, which is related to the G7 summit, directly we'll go to the editorial page. Here, you know very well about what exactly happening in past week. The solidarity for peace. The G7 must build the global consensus on world's challenge. In this particular summit, we can call it as climate and energy summit. And they wanted to work closely together for carbon free electricity production by 2035. So just go through this article, you will get to know about what exactly happening in terms of the membership and how it become a very essential summit in terms of the ongoing issues happening around us in the world. Just make sure this article helps you to global consensus on the world's challenge and how all the member states are concentrating here. But I want to give you the add-on related to this 2023 G7 summit as a value added for your preparation. Remember G7 Climate and Energy Ministers Summit. It's a part of G7 Summit of 2023 where we need to give more importance and focus. Remember, G7 Climate and Energy Ministers concluded 2 days meeting on clean energy and environmental policy. Particularly, this environmental policy in the northern Japanese city of Sapporo, this particular summit took place. So, what is this exactly the outcome of the particular climate and energy ministers meeting? The first outcome that we need to remember is carbon free electricity. Carbon free electricity by which year? 2035. So this particular representation of the G7 countries took a pledge that they wanted to come up with an aim for production of electricity free carbon by 2035. Right, the suggestion of setting a deadline of 2030 to eliminate the coal was rejected. Instead, the final text allowed for the possibility of investing gas as a temporary solution to address the energy shortages. This is the first area. Second area is about to provide or to give lot of investment by all the member countries in terms of solar and wind energy. As a part of their agreements, all the attendees committed to achieve a target of 1000 gigawatts of solar power and 150 gigawatts of offshore wind power by 2030. In the line with IPCC report, third one is about IPCC report. It is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report. So they urgent come up with a limiting of the global temperature rise to maximum of 1.5 degrees Celsius above which is known as pre-industrial levels by close of the century, and also activating net zero in the energy system. See, they agreed to accelerate the phase out of unabated fossil fuels. So the burning of fossil fuels using without using technology to capture, resulting in which emission? Carbon emission. So to achieve net zero in energy system by 2050, at least to reduce the carbon emission, and also reducing the plastic pollution. Plastic pollution. The attendees set a goal of achieving zero additional plastic pollution by 2040, thereby advancing the target of by 10 years. So remember, all these were the important areas that you need to take an outcome of a particular, which is known as Energy Ministers meeting 2023 outcome, because this is what the major concern as of now, which is happening around the world. Right. So you know about how this was formed. It's an informal bloc of advanced, developed, industrialized nation. So G7 countries meets every year, that is annually, to discuss a matter such related to global economic policy, international security, energy policies, among other issues as well. So 1975, France hosted a summit which brought together representatives of how many governments? Six governments, so which is called as G6, that is France, West Germany, Italy, Japan, and UK and USA. 1976, Canada also joined together. So G6 countries in 1976, so it was started being called as G7. So 1998, Russia was officially invited to join the grouping in the year of 1998 summit. Henceforth, it was called as G8. 2014, following the annexation of Crimea by Russia in the year of 2014, the G8 group removed Russia from that particular summit. So, which is since it is called as G7. So, the member countries that we know about Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and USA and UK are currently the member of G7 group. So, the representatives of European Union are head of the state and government of G7 summit. So the presidency of this summit rotationally rotates annually among its members, and Germany held the presidency of G7 Summit 2022. Okay, so presently G7 presidency 2023 is held by Japan, right? So these are all the information that you need to gather regarding this particular article. Next article that we are going to discuss regarding one of the important topic that was circulated in the news in the past days, which is known as the tussle over state services in Delhi. You know about a five-judge constitutional bench of the Supreme Court held that Delhi government will have the complete legislative and executive control over the administrative services in the National Capital Territory of Delhi, except with regard to public order, police, and land. This was the judgment given by the Supreme Court of India in, in this month. Okay, so right now, what exactly we need to know about this case, particularly the background of the case. Remember, it is about the dispute related to the state as well as the center, which is here comes under union territories. The elected government as well as the central government. Okay, right. Now coming back to the background of the case. Five bench, five judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court was hearing there was a dispute between the Delhi government and central government. The dispute is simple. It is based on the matter pertaining to control over the transfers and overall functioning of the administrative services, which is bureaucrats, administrative services in the NCT at Delhi, National Capital Territory. So the administrative services include appointments and transfers. That's a dispute. Appointments and transfers. This is the background of the case. So what exactly the dispute? Remember, Article 239 AA, which was inserted in the Constitution by the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1991, based on the recommendation of S. Balakrishnan Committee. Balakrishnan Committee. It says that National Capital Territory of Delhi will have an administrator and legislative assembly. So the legislative assembly shall have all the power to make a law for the whole or any part of the national capital territory with respect to any matters of state list as well as, or we can call it as concurrent list. such any matter is applicable to the union territories. However, the Legislative Assembly of Delhi cannot do any kind of legislation on the three subjects. What is the three subjects? What are all those? Police, public order, and land. This is the exact rise of the dispute towards this particular issue. However, in the past few years, the governance of National Capital Territory has often been subject of conflict between the Delhi government and Lieutenant General. This is what the exact dispute related to the case. Now, what is ruling out control over the administrative services? 2019, two judge bench of Supreme Court come up with a split verdict on aspect of who can control the administratives in the region of Delhi. The two judge bench had recommended that three judge bench has to be set up to decide the issue of control over the administrative services. Further, in the year of 2022 May, three judge bench had referred this case to again larger bench on the central government plea. So finally, the question control over the administrative required further examination. So there is a lot of argument from the both the side of central as well as state. Finally, the legal issues before the Supreme Court came. So the first arise reference made by two judge bench in the year of 2019. The second is about 2021. It is related to Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act, which passed by the Parliament of India. Right. So now you know very well what exactly happened. So the control of the administrative is given to the Delhi government. So finally, the five-judge bench of the Supreme Court has ruled anonymously in favor of which government? Delhi government on the issue of who controls the bureaucracy. Right. So now, what is the value added that we need to know is Article 145.3 deals with setting up of constitution bench of the Supreme Court, comprising at least how many judges? Five judges for the purpose of deciding any case that involving a substantial question of law to interpretation of the Constitution of India. This is the second time that the constitutional bench has been set up to decide on the issue between Delhi government and Delhi's Lieutenant Governor, the center representative in the capital in the past 4 years. This article is very important for you. Article 145, Clause 3 of the Indian Constitution provides to set up a constitution bench of number 5 judges. Right, so these are all the information that you need to observe after reading this particular article. Next topic of the day that we are going to discuss about AFSPA. AFSPA, that is Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Remember, it's just small news. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Saram reiterated that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act was likely to be lifted completely from the state by this year end, as a law and order had improved considerably. In this particular article, just we need to know about the information regarding this AFSPA. So what exactly it is? It was unfettered powers given to the armed forces and central armed police forces deployed in the disturbed areas to kill anyone whoever act in terms of contravention of law and search any premises without a warrant and with the protection from prosecution and legal suits. This law first came into effect in the year of 1958 to deal with the uprisings which happened among the Nagas community. So the act was amended in the year of 1972. It was amended in the year of 1972, and powers to declare as an disturbed area was conferred concurrently upon the central government along with the states. So Tripura revoked the act in the year of 2015. Meghalaya was under AFSPA for 27 years until it was revoked by Ministry of Home Affairs on 1st April 2018. Currently, this act in some parts of Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, and Arunachal Pradesh. So you just go through this article, what exactly here. So aim to lift AFSA from Assam by 2023 end. Okay, 2023 end. So Manipur is going, like Assam is going to remove this by this year end. That is the article is about. Moving towards the next important article, which is comes under Center seeks stricter implementation of ban on e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes are battery powered devices that work by heating a liquid into an aerosol that the user inhales and exhales. The e-cigarette liquid typically contain nicotine, propylene glycol, glycerin, flavorings, and other chemicals. So you just go through this article which is related to the implementation of ban on e-cigarettes. India come up with a ban, and there was a big debate which is happening about favor. It's because the Union government approved the promulgation of prohibition of electronic cigarettes, production, manufacture, import, export, transport, sale, distribution, storage, and advertisement ordinance 2019. As per that, it has to be removed. So government wanted to take a strict action. Next, Education Minister holds meet on Prague aimed at unifying 60 schools board. What exactly this article is about? See, in this article, we are going to discuss directly related to the Prague, P-A-R-A-K-H. P-A-R-A-K-H, Prague. See, performance, assessment, review, analysis of knowledge for holistic development. Recently, the NCRT, National Council for Education Research and Training, notified India's first national, remember this is known as National Assessment Regulator, which is called as PARAG. Remember, this was notified by NCRT. So this Parag has been launched as a part of implementation of the National Education Policy 2020 that envisaged a standard setting body to advise school boards regarding new assessment patterns. It is completely related to the assessment pattern. Okay, it will be tasked with holding periodic learning outcomes tests like the National Achievement Survey and State Achievement Surveys. And it will act as a constituent unit of the NCRT. So it will work on the three major area of assessment. The first assessment area is large scale assessments. The second one is about school based assessments. Third one is about examination reforms. Examination reforms. See, the objective is simple. It is providing uniform notes and guidelines. So they wanted to set up a uniform norms for the schools as well as to provide a proper guidelines. Then it is about enhance assessment pattern and reducing the disparity in terms of evaluation and providing benchmark assessment which helps to implement the National Education Policy 2020. Right. So these are all the major information that we need to understand from this article. So these are all the topics that we need to focus on the Hindu newspaper. Moving towards the Press Information Bureau. So the three important points that I derived from this particular forum: Press Information Bureau, which state legislative assembly celebrated Silver Jubilee? Kerala. So, Vice President of India wished for the celebration which happened in the state of Kerala. Silver Jubilee means 25 years of celebration. 25 years of celebration of the Legislative Assembly of Kerala was observed yesterday. Then, highest civilian award of Papua New Guinea, which is known as Grand Companion of the Order of Logi, GCL. This award was conferred to our Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So, this is the highest civilian award of the Papua New Guinea, and the recipients, whoever received this award, they used to have a title of chief, name called chief. Then International Biodiversity Day was observed 22nd May 2023. The theme of the particular day, which is known as Build Back Biodiversity. There was a meeting held under the Ministry of Environment related to this. So International Biodiversity Day was observed on May 22nd. The next is about All India Radio. One topic is very important. Central government to provide 30 percentage of the financial support for the purpose of promoting the green shipping. Remember, recent days, the green hydrogen hub plays a key role in India. These green hydrogen hub were developed at the Deen Dayal port at Kandla, Gujarat, Chidambaranar port at Tuticorin, Tamil Nadu, where India is focusing in terms of green hydrogen. So here, what is mean by green shipping? When the people or goods which are transported by the ships using the minimum resources and energy possible. The intention of minimum resources and energy possible is about to protect the environment from the pollutants which was generated by the ships, which is known as green shipping. Right, for this particular purpose, the central government is to provide 30 percentage of financial support for the green shipping. So G20 tourism working group meeting is going to held in Srinagar. Right. So these two information that I derived it from the All India Radio. The last part of the day, vocabulary. From today, we are going to learn three vocabularies, three words for the day. Impregnable, which is known as any person or individual incapable of being overcome, challenged, or defeated. So, impregnable means incapable of being overcome. Next one is about veracious, being honest and not telling any kind of lies. That is known as veracious. Third one is about scramble, to move or climb quickly but with difficulty, which we can say to move quickly in a disorganized fashion, but being a difficulty but moving quickly or climbing quickly, which is known as scramble. So these are the three important keywords that you can learn for the day. So further from tomorrow, we are going to discuss the Hindu analysis and taking an important topic from Press Information Bureau and All India Radio. And we are going to read three or four important vocabularies on daily basis. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.